All right, Florida Congressman Byron Donalds says that he was rejected for admission into the Congressional Black Caucus. Why? Because of his conservative views. And he wants to know why else. Well, CNN anchor Breonna Keeler let the congressman know exactly why he shouldn't be in the caucus. Take a listen.
You have defended President Trump you've said he's done enough when it comes to rebuffing ideas about white supremacy. But do you think that your defense of a person that said things like that might be incongruent with the mission of the CBC?
First of all, whatever the president said in the past has nothing to do with this discussion at all. As a black man in America, I'm allowed to have my own thoughts on who I choose to support and who I choose not to support. I think that it's important whether you're talking about the Congressional Black Caucus or the Florida State Legislative Black Caucus or the National Caucus of State Black Legislators, organizations I have been a part of in the past. My support of President Trump has been consistent, but at the same time, I've had the ability to advocate for issues, ideas, proposals, and funding that have helped the Black community in my state.
Boom! Joining us now is the congressman himself. Congressman Byron Donalds is back with us. Sir, man, you crushed it. I just want to, first of all, associate myself by saying that I am starting the Byron Donalds for Speaker campaign right now. We need you out in front. So make sure that I get the founding member pin.
Listen, sorry to disappoint you. There ain't gonna be no pins for that one, but I'm gonna do a lot of other things. But thanks for the support.
Look,
I really appreciate it.
Well, no, it was just I literally thought that this white CNN anchor was anchor-splaining to you. She's telling you, and who went to an HBCU, did all of these things, why you're not black enough to join the Congressional Black Caucus. How does something like that make you feel?
It's actually demeaning. I don't need somebody to tell me that. What I need to know, frankly, and it's really not from a reporter or any anchor, it's really from the members of the CBC, like, what's your actual decision? Because this all came about through a news leak last Wednesday or Thursday. I've not talked to the Congressional Black Caucus at any point over the last couple of days. I frankly haven't really talked to the members about the CBC since January. There's really been no communication whatsoever. So when this story dropped, I was kind of shocked and pushed back like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. But now we're here. And so the thing I think is most important is we're members of Congress. We're adults. If you feel that you don't want me in the organization, just have a member come to me and be like, look, this is what we decide. But tell me directly. It shouldn't be some leak from an anonymous source in some article that's posted on the internet.
Well, let me tell you, there's one good thing about the Democrats. They do love those leaks. So, that's their way of communicating with you, Congressman. This is the swamp, which is never that great. But let me ask you, the left likes everyone to believe that they aren't racist and that the right is. But in fact, they are racist. Look at their voting laws. Look at how they treated Senator Tim Scott, calling him Uncle Tim, after he delivered the Republican response to Biden's address to Congress. Do you think the left is pushing a racist message?
I do. I think it's also a very divisive one. And the reason why is because if people are largely okay with how the country is, if in their everyday life they realize that, there some groups that may have to work harder than others to get to a certain point? Yeah, because of where you're starting from in life. And we all understand the history of our country. But if you're trying to make people be in this space where the country's irredeemable, that's the only way they can pass the policy agenda that they have, because their policy agenda is one that is actually, completely in opposite of the political ideology of the center of the country. It does not comport. It does not comply. It does not align itself. And so if you're going to get people to support these radical ideas, you have to get them disenchantized, with the country. And that's the whole purpose of this. That's what they want to see happen.
Yeah. It's funny, though, if someone on the right is perceived, or not even the right, anyone does anything. I talked about this last week. There's one young actress that was on The Office. When she was 19 years old, she went to an event. It had apparently some kind of racial roots that were wrong, and she now has to apologize and go out and do whatever, a million hours of penance. CNN and all these other folks love to talk about so-called dog whistles coming from the right and all these things. But you had Hunter Biden literally use a whistle. I mean, he used the N-word multiple times in a text. and not a peep from ABC, NBC, CBS, the aforementioned CNN, the Washington Post, the New York Times, Politico. They didn't care that the president's son used a racial epithet like that. That's offensive. I mean, and yet everyone who does anything else on the right or even the center, can't be forgiven for something that they may have attended or looked the wrong way 15, 20 years ago.
It's worse than that. You see, the left, they use dog whistles all the time. They gaslight all the time. You don't have to look any further than the president of the United States. When Georgia's election bill came out, what did he call it? He called it Jim Crow 2.0. He called it Jim Eagle, whatever the heck that means. And so this is what they do because they understand that their policies actually suck. And so you can't really get people to buy into them without first demonizing your opposition. And so they use dog whistles all the time, but then they accuse Republicans of using them. They gaslight all the time, but they accuse Republicans of gaslighting. And this is how they try to get their policy agenda across and maintain support in the country.
So, Congressman, quick answer here. So do you think the Congressional Black Caucus should rename itself to the Democrat Congressional Black Caucus?
I mean, you know what? They could do whatever they want with it. That's fine by me. Whatever they want to call it is inconsequential. My attitude with the CBC is this. I do believe that with respect to people in the Black community and ideas and how they impact the Black community, you should actually have political ideas from all aspects of the Black community. The Black community is not monolithic. We're not all liberals. We have a lot of conservatives. Polling actually shows that about 60% of the Black community is actually conservative, even though they don't vote that way. So there is dynamic thought in the Black community with respect to political ideas and policy ideas. The only thing I say is that should be representative in the Black Caucus.
Yes. By the way, we did reach out to the CBC to see if they had any updates, and unfortunately, they did not. So I appreciate you being here, but I wish I had better news.
But Congressman Donalds, you are a rising star in the party. We thank you for your voice. You're a great patriot. Thank you for joining us.
No, it's my pleasure to be with you guys. Thanks so much for having me.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.